Is the delay really that bad? Or is that just me? Oh crap, I forgot to change this. I knew I should have checked it. I was thinking, well, it'll be fine. Not. Alright, how did I do this last time? Is it 500? I think it was maybe 500 by 250. Possibly, I don't know, we'll see. I made it a little bigger like that. It's kind of hard to read the chat over Hammer. So if you make it bigger, then you should be able to see it. And delay. Well, that's just how live streaming works, unfortunately, but you know, whatever. So, as some of you know, I had a map I did in art therapy. So I just deleted all of the insides of it. And what is this? I don't remember doing that. But I rearranged some of these little foot thingies and these sideways racks. Rearranged it, put a different number up here, and kept whatever I thought might come in handy later in the test. And these lights, obviously, they're just here from the other ones so that I can have the color. This light's actually... I started putting in some lights, but then I remembered, oh yeah, they don't really do it like this. They just kind of put the lights on the sides, and then they'll put like a light spot over something that's important. So those will be going away. Paint gel tube. I used the guide for this gel bomb thing because I didn't know how to do it. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You can export maps because I copied this thingy, whatever it's called, the trigger catapult, this wall, and then this panel to make sure they're all aligned properly. Actually originally I had this part all the way over here, but I thought I don't want people jumping off. I don't really want it too close to this either because that seems kind of odd. So I moved it over here, and I think it actually looks better. It's kind of a hint to what you're supposed to do, but at the same time, it's not very obvious, like signage or whatever. Kind of makes a frame for where you want the light bridge, which is the solution, obviously. Well, it's part of the test. And this... I went through a few different iterations. At first, I was making it like a box it was just like hollowed out. But then I remembered that they do the walls. So I did the walls and then had the floor that went all the way down to the goo, and then I was like, no. So I put the floor up, and then this was all floor like this. And then I thought, oh wait, this wall is kind of low. If people put gel here, they're gonna just jump right over. So I took that out and made it the great floor. Great floor. So that's gonna be kind of a running thing through this map, is a great floor. And in the official maps, the buttons are kind of sunk into the floor like this. And then they've got this little frame underneath it, which I don't know why they did that. But, you know, they do what they're gonna do. It looks alright, I suppose. This one's got its little side signage. Be sure to skip this song. No, no it isn't. Go away. DW. Who's DW? Is Deathwish here? Lurking? Obviously, because he didn't say anything. We've got the floor. I lowered the clip on this one because I wanted to be sure everything went through this portal. Don't want it making some kind of weird... Oh, why am I not going through the portal? Why is nothing traveling through the portal sort of thing? And this is just playing its animation. I couldn't for the life of me find a 45-degree animation on the normal arms, so I just had to use the PTI version. You know, whatever. I'm not sure how to make this underside look better yet. That's obviously a work in progress. That's actually one of the most recent things I did. These, I'm sure you've noticed them, probably wondering what they are. These are particle system, which makes little kind of clouds on the water, make it look like it's alive. I haven't added the tide line yet. And then this, got a little piston on it, like 2 paints 1 bridge. And here's your trigger catapult, which I need to do some logic. Oh yeah, need to add some logic to that actually. So this makes sure that when you come flying out this portal that you don't go over and then you die. Because I did that. And it's actually really surprising how many trigger catapults Valve put into... Oh, what's that map called? Oh goodness. Laser chaining. The map with a faith plate that you launch out of the floor, then move your portal to the wall and fly out. But there are trigger catapults all over that map. It's ridiculous. Oh, and then we've got little entrance space, the elevator. Let's ignore this. Goodbye. Exit door open, catwalk. This I had to move around a bit. Make sure it wasn't too high, wasn't too low. Trying to make sure no one escapes the map. And here's inside the elevator. Let's change these instances. Yeah. How many were there in laser chaining? I'll show you in a minute if you want. So yeah, I took the logic, I took the base, and I collapsed the base and didn't really keep much of it. I actually... Is there a gap right there? No. Hard to tell. Make sure this thing's aligned properly. Seems to be. That's just how it is, I don't know. But yeah, I deleted most of it. I ended up deleting what was up here, and then I put it back in. And then just the top. This is actually a different size than the normal pneumatic diversity vent. I actually tried putting that beneath, but then it was too small, so I had to get rid of it. I was gonna just continue the thing all the way down and up, but you know, whatever. I figured, like, if this was the early, oh, what's it? Art therapy. GLaDOS would have the people, and she would likely have put elevators. If they were doing a test by themselves, if they were doing it with someone else, they'd probably have 2 elevators, but I don't know. They could just both be in the same elevator. A bit cramped, because it's only made for one person. This took a few times to get looking alright. As it is, you can see that it's not perfect. There's some gaps, but you can't really see the gaps because of the texture. So they don't really look like that. If you come over here, you can see it. But, you know, I did as best as I could, so. I don't think there's anything else to show in here. This I had from the other map. I actually did very minor edits to this stuff. I obviously made this stair a lot taller. In case any of you remember, or you've played, oh, what's it called? I'm not doing good with names today. Point Blank. I had the little scaffold cage at the beginning. And then the catwalk, so I made this stair taller. Did some other edits. I had to play around with it to get it to work, and then you've got this door that you can see the bottom, but whatever. Most people aren't gonna actually see that, so I don't really care. Well, something I was doing with the aligning, here is the panel, the foot panel. Probably go offline on Steam. Who, me? I don't know. Maybe he's talking about himself. You got this wall, and I wanted to make sure you couldn't use the light bridge to get where you weren't supposed to go. So you've got a bit of a blocking here. And you've got this wall that I moved a bit closer. So you can just kind of, and then there's this. Not that I really had the option, but I could have made it a little different so that wasn't there. I put that there intentionally so you can just jump off and you don't have to come all the way around to get the cube and go back. It makes it a little shorter, less walking. And then this side, I actually had the wall over here, but this comes over here, and there you go. If it's any wider, you go around. And I didn't really want to make that wall bigger. I mean, I could have, but I didn't really want to. Actually, I should probably delete that. Don't need that because it's going to be disappearing. So this wall is that wide. I kind of like it looking a little offset like that. So dropper, these are the instances for stuff. Need to add arrival, departure, transition, ends. Oh yeah, I kept this too. This little thing. Actually copied this from a different map. I copied most of this stuff from the other maps actually. And if you look at Valve's versions, they're mostly the same, but there's a few variations. So that's essentially what I was going for. And obviously there's going to be other differences as well later. But for now, just the inside kind of being worked on. I think that's everything. I need to change that. I honestly don't know how that happened. That's the strangest thing. I don't remember doing that. The funny thing about these textures is that they're actually scaled up quite a bit. This texture is at full size. And then there's a little drop on the edge right here. Not a lot of people include this little drop. But actually in the later art therapy maps, it's just flat as well. That's odd. I'm just gonna texture that with no draw for now. Actually, no. No draw. May have missed one over here. Yes, no. I know I didn't. Actually, actually textured it properly over here. There you go. Now it's textured properly. So, cheaty lights in the corners to give a little background ambience. It's shocking how dark it is in here without these. And it's like, it's still dark with them, but it's like pitch black without them. It's ridiculous. Notifications are showing up for me. I don't care if notifications show up for me. Like they can do whatever they want. It's not a big deal to me. Let's see. Yeah, laser chaining. I don't know why they all have a D on them, but whatever. I don't know why it starts you in here. It's way over here. All these weird textures on the outside. It's kind of funny. Okay, so here's laser chaining. There's catapults on like every wall. And more than one most of the time. And they all like launch to a different place. I'm not sure what this is for, to be honest. Huh, that's funny. I don't remember seeing that before. Obviously this is to keep you from getting up here unintendedly. Or like, without this thing up. I don't know. Some of the things in these maps, it's like, why is this even here? I have no idea. I honestly don't. And you've got the small tiles to kind of draw attention to it. Now obviously, not all times small tiles are used. It's meant to draw attention. But there are times that it is, like with this. It's got the small tiles that kind of lead up to it. Draws your eyes, makes you follow it up, and then, oh hey, there's a cube up there. So this, it launches you over, and apparently if you go through this thing at all, it should knock the cube off. I didn't even realize this was here, to be honest. And then you've got, oh, I thought there was one out of here. That's interesting. And there's two over here, actually. And then there's one here. Of all the places, it's like, there's one above the catapult. It makes sure you fall onto the catapult. And then there's the catapult that launches you up. All sorts of funny things. Huh. I don't think I ever noticed that before either. And there's a little wall thing that goes in, 3 arms. There's the arms. The funny thing is, once they go in, the models actually... Oh. I thought it just disabled draw. I guess that was a different one. I told you it's a lot of trigger catapults. There's 2 here, and then 2 behind. So it's like, if you don't go fast enough, it launches you to the bottom. Or if you do, then it'll launch you to here. Which is fascinating. I'm not entirely sure why there's a gap in the middle. But, you know, whatever. Autosave. Because the turrets can kill you, so... you want it to save in places. There's some things you can pick up in these maps. There's like little clusters of panels that are pushed out. It's never excessive. There's never, it's not like... That's why Portal 2 is such a good game. Yeah, there's detail, and yeah, it's fairly spread out. But it's never excessive, and that's something that mods have been failing to accomplish. I'm not even sure why. Like, you'd think they would want to do as little work as possible because it's quicker. Like another mod, which is one of the few mods that doesn't have enough detail in it. Hey. No cube up here. I like to kind of suspend stuff, and when the map spawns, it falls and looks a little more natural that it's there. Let's seems to be all the trigger catapults. I just love looking at these maps. There's so many little details, but there's not too many little details. And the outsides are all textured because evidently whatever's touching the void is eliminated, so it doesn't matter what's on the outside of the test chamber technically. But I still like to make it no draw on the outside because I don't know why not. And then this little light thing that turns on. I actually used this for both sides. And there's a relay somewhere. No, that's not it. Did I delete it? Where'd that relay go? There's a relay that turns on all this stuff. Trigger once. Oh no, wait a minute. I don't think it was a relay. I think I just made a relay. I made a relay to capture all of the inputs it needed. And this is a trigger to make these panels move. No, I think it's just a trigger. The thing I like about what they did is, like, you're walking through the door and these panels are hanging out, but you're looking at them already. It's not like you're looking this way and the panels over there are moving. I mean, if you're not looking at it, what's the point of it moving, really? You just, it's out 1 minute and then it's in the next, so it's kind of pointless. And they did little tricks like that. Very simple things, but very effective at the same time. I didn't notice there was a ledge up here. Huh. Fascinating. And these lights. Very long and then that way. That's funny. I could have sworn those lights about over here. These turrets are kind of useless, to be honest. I mean, you know, I guess if you do it intendedly, it's not, but... What mod doesn't have enough detail? Well, I like to call it crapature tag. Even got this little funny little thing. It almost makes me wonder why they even did this. Maybe just to be funny. Honestly, like, looking at this kind of irritates me. And there's a big old gap in here, a big old empty space. And these arms are all in bind pose, so they, of course, they didn't look odd. You mean the money grabbing one? Yeah, you could call it that. The only mod that charges, and the one that had the least work put into it. I never noticed that this was the 64 texture. I always thought it was the 32 all the way around, but it's not right here. That's a funny thing, when you decompile a map, you notice all these little things, like this texture being off. It's like, it's not aligned properly. This should be on the edge. Like that. But you never notice it in the map, and that's what's funny. You can get away with a lot of stuff. What in the world is this? It's a portal surface. What the heck? That's something else you don't notice. It's like, I'm pretty sure no one's ever seen that. It's just this white portal surface. It's like, what's that doing there? But you don't really care, because it's not a big deal, evidently. Wardon. And you have like random push panels. Sometimes there's just single push panels, and sometimes it's like a cluster. Sometimes little bits of the roof fall out. I like to think of it like something fell on the test, on the chamber. And that's why the clusters will happen. If something falls, it pushes it in, messes it up a bit. You kind of gotta think of it from a dimension, not just from the inside, but there's stuff going on outside as well. And that causes stuff to appear like it does on the inside, so. Someone should make a mod for Portal 2 that fixes all these little things. But you don't notice them, that's the thing. It's like, why fix it if no one cares? I mean, it would be nice if it was like that, but at the same time, you don't really need it like that, so. You know, whatever. Nothing ever falls on the floor. Well, of course it doesn't fall on the floor. It falls from the outside of the test onto the roof or something. Obviously, if something from inside fell on the floor, then it would do some damage, but not as much as something falling from like hundreds of feet up, or who knows how high, who knows how heavy. They've got all sorts of different possibilities. And this is all the same texture. Little details, not too many details. I honestly, I don't know what's so difficult about that. And something BMod doesn't get that what about overground tests? Well, those we'll do on a different day because, you know, there is time and all that. Something BMod doesn't get, like, you want big sections of the same texture. You don't want little, like, every tile to be different. It's really irritating. Seriously. BMod will never... It'll never stop. It'll never cease to irritate me. This is something I can't do. I can't put part of a texture. Like, when I put it, I like the whole thing to be showing. So obviously it's not a big deal, but I don't like doing that myself. And here's another example. Evidently it's okay, and like I said about the other things, you never notice it. When you're playing the game, you don't notice stuff being off like this. Oh, that is, okay. I didn't notice the line in the middle. Well, how'd they get a dirty version of the 64 by 128? But they didn't. It's just a different texture, I didn't notice. Random tiles sticking out. I like making everything a funk detail that I can. It doesn't really seem to make a difference, but I just like to. Oh, that actually is a funk detail. Huh. I guess when it's just a little sliver they do that, but when it's these big pieces they don't. It's on the inside of the map too, that's funny. Nothing leaves the outside exposed, so I wonder why they didn't make that funk detail. Something else that they do is they use these viz groups. I don't know how to use them. I've never seen any information on viz groups, so I don't know what to do with them. Howdy. So make up your mind, dude. Are you Azrael or are you Flowey? I guess he's the same thing. I just realized that. Okay then. Aren't you working on the other test, not a valve one? You kind of went a bit overboard. Just trigger catapults. Well, that's what I do, and that's something that takes away a lot of time. I'll just come in, I'll start looking at a test, and an hour later, oh yeah, I was supposed to be working on something. But it does help with... I want to make sure there's a border because... just seeing the edge of this hanging out looks weird. It helps get the style and all of that. It's like there's a mess, but there's not so much of a mess. I think viz groups are essentially groups you can hide while working or something. I don't know. Still there. So if that is how it is, you don't hide it by unchecking. Oh my goodness. Who knows? I need to go. Well, thanks for stopping by, Flame Tusk. You got to see into one of Valve's maps the little things that they did. This is laser training, a Valve map. It is. I didn't even realize. Art therapy. I just went in there to show Flame Tusk all of the... on your phone. Oh. All of the catapults, the trigger catapults on all the walls. Like this one that I added. To make sure you land on this platform. When you launch from the faceplate over into the surface. And you don't come flying out in an odd angle like I did. Still have to test that, make sure it works. I still need to add a bit of logic over here. Let's see. Actually, what I was gonna do is just disable air control. It really doesn't matter how long you do it either, because as soon as you like go through a portal or something, this gets kind of eliminated, I think. This is me on my phone. So let's see. Maybe 4 seconds should be good. Because what I don't want... essentially how this works, it's not always enabled. Because obviously if someone doesn't come off the faceplate, they like put the cube over here and then they're over here. Put a portal up there and then they just walk through. Then they come flying out of this for no reason. So what I want to be sure people have hit the faceplate so that they'll get launched out of here. But if someone hits the faceplate and comes over here and like shifts over and stops themselves and they don't actually go through the portal, then this is still enabled. If they move over and then go through the portal, then they pick up their momentum instantly again, and that seems odd. So a few things gotta watch out for. Funny thing about these, where is it? The speed is usually more so the angle. Like when you change the speed, it changes the angle you come out of it. Obviously if you use one of these things. If you use the launch direction, then that will kind of take it off in different ways, in different places. But if you use the speed, and that's why I asked you for the speed the other day, because that it tells it what angle it's launching at. I think lower speed launches at a less of an angle. The sky is pink. Okay. That's interesting. I don't know if this will work. There's a placement helper to make sure it goes in the middle. Gotta have placement helpers. I need to put one over here, actually. Need to do a few things over here. Oh, what just happened? My phone is in my pocket. Just a minute. My mic is still muted. Well, that's just fine then. I've been explaining all this stuff and my mic's been muted. Well, that's fine. Whatever. Can I get the arm, please? Thank you. So anyway, when the animation's done, it goes down, attaches this panel to itself, and then goes back up. And that's what this is for. So with the placement helper, it doesn't actually matter. That's not the placement helper. With the placement helper, when you don't use helper's angles, it doesn't actually matter what angle it's at. But for me, I like to... Well, what it does is the arrow is pointing towards the bottom, and then there's like a little flag. Oops. Little flag right here. That's the top of the portal, and the arrow on the blue side is the bottom. And then there's two red arrows. The thick one points out. I tested it at the 6 different possible angles it could have in this one map, and that's how it works. So that's interesting. If you ever wanted to add a placement helper. And if you, like I said, if you don't use helper's angles, then it doesn't really matter. But like, it doesn't matter what angle it's at. But I like to put it at the proper angle anyway. Let's get that annoying arm back. Like that. That should do. Actually, I wanted this to attach too. I'm still wondering if you can use something else, but... Oh, give me that stupid arm. No! Copy paste. Use target. Anyway, I'm gonna change the parent. Target. Okay, I got the arms. That should do it. Alright. Be gone. Ugh, sometimes those sometimes those animations get so irritating. Alright, so face vape. I can't talk today. Right, so we've got that. Add. Uncatapulted. I didn't name the faceplate. That's fantastic. No! Don't change on me. No. Parent. Doesn't have a parent. Where's the name? Oh yeah, it doesn't have a name. Alright, faceplate 50. Let's check these models. We've got the straight up, and then the angled launch, and then the fast one as well. Idle's obviously default. Angled. The natural leg log of 20 plus pi is close as makes no difference. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Well, that's not gonna work. Like this one. Because it's gonna turn it on with a gel bomb too. That's gonna be a bit glitchy. So, gotta come up with an alternate. Not only that, but once it turns the state true, it stays true. You come back later and do something, that's gonna be kinda odd. Ugh. It's too simple. I wish stuff was easier in here. Like if you go up here and then bounce, and then you're up here, then that thing can launch stuff. All the buffering is making this impossible to watch. Well, I'm sorry about the buffering, but you know, whatever. It's actually not buffering that much for me. Let me see. Whoops. There you go. Alright, I want this to be... No, not trigger once. What is wrong with me? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Please cooperate. This isn't that difficult. Rob your net flame. I think, well, he said he changed to his phone, so... No, phones aren't as fast. No. Clients only. I can't talk today. Somebody save me. We need to name this. What to name it? That's the thing. Sometimes it's... Why did I do flipping panel? Why didn't I just do FP? Enabler. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, actually, just get rid of this. Just the button, please. Alright, on pressed. Enable the enabler. No. Disable. Alright, so when the button is pressed and the panel flipped around, that's when it's enabled, but you have to hit this. and disable it. The only thing with delays is that it's not very precise. What did I say? 4 seconds? So you go through it, and it disables it. You go through, and it's like, it's not still enabled. So you are making it where the faceplate only works when the panel is flipped. No, I'm making the trigger on this panel only work when it's flipped and when you hit the faceplate and when everything is how it's supposed to be. Probably... we want physics subjects too, actually. Maybe we don't need that then. Oh yeah, the gel will always fall in the same place. Still though. So I guess I do need both of these then. Well, so much for the trigger multiple. That's what happens when you're rearranging logic. That's it. Just, you know, whatever. Copied. I don't really need to delete that because I'll be deleting this. Both things will be triggered or catapulted. Need to change this name. It's just too long. FP for flipping panel, and then FP for faceplate. Don't give a chapstick. I know what they are, so screw you. You just gotta make sure that all of the inputs are proper. Oops. Maybe I do need that enabler anyway. Because I want people to be able to launch. I could have it do both, but I don't know. It's not really a big deal because it kind of does that anyway. No. No, never mind. I need that. This thing. Anyway. Whoops. Hate it when I copy something I don't want to. Copy. Physics. Say no. It would bounce back to the faceplate. you can get launched without a portal, and then that thing's still enabled. So I am going to leave that. I'm going to leave the disable output on that, and then have this disable itself if you touch it, so that there's no issue with that. And this is all the little piddly stuff I'm talking about. It's like I haven't added a single brush to this map. I've just been going back and forth trying to make sure that this logic bit works. Trigger multiple. Let's make it. I don't know, it's like I don't want people to glitch it, so I kind of want it in the same place, but it doesn't seem. It doesn't have to do that, but it would probably be good if sent you back to the platform with the faceplate. I could arrange that with a return. This is the part of Hammer that makes me afraid to learn it. The logic. It's really not that difficult. A lot of times what I'll do is I actually have to do it out loud. Like, right now I'm streaming, so obviously I'm talking about what I'm doing. But, actually no, I know what I can do with this. Send it downward. That way I know where it is. Let's see, storm after the calm. Let's do this one. I'm talking about it right now, but most of the time I don't have to talk about logic out loud to actually get it. There's a little frame under the button again. I can just kind of make the map. That's why I kind of like working on it better off stream. But you know, you do whatever you can. But it's really not that bad, the logic aspect. And it's like the first thing you need. At first, when I was doing Hammer, I did PTI exports, and I didn't touch the logic. I just left the buttons, the catapults, everything. I left it all exactly as it was because I didn't want to screw it up. You can't just have button activated with a flip panel. Well, if you press the button and this panel's flipped, you put a portal on it, like you put a portal over here. You don't go on the faceplate at all. You just walk through the portal and you go up here. Then this thing's activated and you get launched even though you're not moving. And that's odd. You don't want to have that in your map because it's just an odd thing. I actually stole this panel and like this little rotation mechanism and all that from a different map. If flip panel toggles, eliminate the portal on it. You could escape with a light bridge. Although you can't really use that. Can't get up here with the light bridge. There's no way to get gel. Yeah, so that should be fine actually. What's this? Oh yeah. Okay. So obviously I need to put a wall here. Actually, I don't really need to because most people can't jump this. Obviously, speedrunners can. And that's kind of what I was trying to do. Was it's like if you're moving at a certain speed, you don't have air control. Or like you have it, but it's very, very limited. So you can't really air strafe. Oh no, wait, you do have air control. It's called strafe lock. You can like shift to the side a little bit, but it's not very fast. you can't do normal air strafing. So if this panel came all the way out to here, speedrunners could probably just jump this gap. But I keep it around the wall, so it's like you can't get around that. Same thing over here. You'd be going at the wrong angle, so getting over here would be very difficult. With this, you've got enough distance to get a speed, spooky speed, and then you could just jump, and you'd probably make it if you're good. I couldn't make that. It's not likely that I could, but I'm sure it can be made, and I know for a fact if you have the cube, you can just skip on it, and then, oh, you're over here. It doesn't help you at all, but, you know, why give it to them so easily? If they have to work real hard for it, then whatever, but I'm not just gonna present it to them. Oh, here you go, break my map. No reason for that, there just isn't. Alright, where is this? I'm fine with a wall there. Well, you kind of have to be fine with whatever I do because I'm the one doing it. There's a little kind of hanging ledge over here. Maybe put a clip on that. I don't know. You can put invisible walls all over the place just to keep people from doing stuff, but most of the time you don't really need to. And that's what Mel did. I don't know what's with them and their invisible walls and their stupid block bullets, brushes, and all that, but you know, whatever. Whoops. Texture locks on. It's not handles I want. If I'd used those handles, it would have gone like this. And that's not what I want. There's 3 sets of handles. You get them when you click on the brush. The rotation handles that are hollow. You get this little swirly bob when you're over it. Oops. You have these handles, whatever they're called, that you kind of shift it to the side. And then you have these handles, which are just the resizing handles. That's probably all I need there. I'm gonna put a smaller. Rid of these. A little bit of an overhang. Speedrunners could probably cross this gap, but I mean, you could just portal over too, so. I don't know. I don't know if it could accomplish anything. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, speedrunners can do it, but does it accomplish anything? That's what you gotta think about. If it doesn't accomplish anything, then there's not really any use in trying to remove it. It's like, yeah, they can jump over that, but what do they accomplish? Absolutely nothing. So there's not really any point in trying to remove it. Just leave it there. Let them waste their own time. If they want to, then, you know, whatever. It doesn't break the map, it doesn't matter. Actually, I think I might make this wall a bit higher. Yeah. Alright. And then we can just delete these. Grab these. Not the ground. It's not what we want. Over. There you go. The only thing, the goo's kind of at an odd height that there's always a little bit extra. Or a little not enough. I don't know. It just makes some steps faster, but it doesn't break the puzzle. If they could get across this even. I mean, it's like, it's really not a big deal. And like, you're going that fast, it's kind of hard to land on here. This little bit. And it's around a corner. It's like, if you can land on this 32 by 32 square and not die, then you can have it. Because I really don't give a chapstick. Maybe what I'll do is I'll make these not all the way down. So right now they're all the way at the bottom of the goo, but if I raise them up... like, yeah, they'd be floating, but whatever. They're not actually on the bottom of the goo like that. The alternative thing I could do is put part of the model outside of the map, but I don't want to do that. Something else I could do is just make the map a little bigger so that doesn't happen. But, you know, I do things the better way. No, those are different heights. Height, not height. Height is not a word. Please remember that. There. Thing is though, I kind of like this where it is. I might just leave it. I'm gonna leave it floating. And some of them I kind of like the extended above look, but I don't, whatever. Hopefully this bottom model isn't all dark. Need this goo. So that is... it's all the way at the bottom. And the trigger that kills the cubes. In the bottom as well. I kind of like this partially submerged look better, because then it looks like it's not just kind of floating on top of the goo like this. Let's just select all the walls and none of the models. That's how we do things. What do you think about stadium lights on the wall you just made, aimed at the light bridge? You mean this light? I mean, this wall. And this is why I haven't streamed the last few days. In case it isn't terribly obvious already. Back down. So this one will be above. Light bridge. Well, the light bridge is over here. Past this spot. Aimed at the faceplate. Um. You mean this one? Actually, let me do something here. Something Valve did that I like. Didn't get a chance to do it my last art therapy map. Wish they had a 64 model of this. All they have is 256 and 128. Ugh. Stupid models loading. Alright, 28. Kind of gives a bit of depth doing this. Actually, let's do this a bit differently. Come on. Things are afraid. Don't be afraid of Hammer. It's not that bad. It really isn't. I think it's 3 high in the... Well, yeah, the portal wall's 3 high in the original, but it doesn't really need to be. I mean, it could be 1 high for all intents and purposes. Alright, texture lock is on. It's off. And there's no texture over there. Oh yeah, that's why. Alright, so... that doesn't look how I was thinking it would. Well... let's see, what's it called? You paint this one bridge. Won't be able to shoot it from the room with the light bridge if it's not tall enough. Well, you're on the 3rd level of the light bridge, so you can see, because the Fizzler's too high, and then with the light bridge you're on level 3. So you'll be high enough. Ugh, Valve, please. See this? If you're gonna have a lot of crap in your map, this is what it should be. It should all be invisible. They made like a little rail here. Completely unnecessary. For some reason they felt the need. What is this? Apparently they wanted it to be gelled a little bit over here. Oh yeah, here's what I was looking for. Oh, so they did cross them. Well, thanks, guys. I don't know why they do this to me. It's not fair. It really isn't. You've got some little depth thingies. And then the walls go beneath. I don't think I did that in mine. I really should though. All these stupid player clips. The funny thing, if they hadn't included these player clips, there wouldn't be a, like, oh, what is it, 2 or 3 portals route? Because you can just kind of run around all the way to the exit. They're like, oh yeah, let's put all these player clips up so high, but it doesn't really matter. Because you can walk on them still. They underestimated the speedrunners. That's where their problem was. Clips. Clips are fun. You've got little portal bumpers. Yeah. And then all these arms. Funny if there's a little clip right here. Maybe that's to prevent you from like bouncing off the gel or whatever. These maps are optimized in such an odd way. Floating. Yeah, most of these are kind of floating. That was a different map I was thinking of. I could have sworn it was this one, but I guess not. Maybe I moved that. I don't know. I have no idea, man. And that's something else. You never pay any attention to the fact that it's floating. See, this is the... See, this is what isn't floating. For some reason. Let's make all the lights float, but we don't need... Let's make this thing that's anchored, but we don't need... It doesn't matter if the lights float or not. Use that. These funny textures. Oh no, those are the same. That's interesting. Light bridge. Holes in the wall. Hole in the wall. And hard to see because it's a player clip. I don't know why they did some of the things they did, I honestly don't. Like, you can't get in there. You can't even get up here, like, ever. They put player clips in the most useless places. The ones that actually help the speedrunners to get through the map in a way that they're not supposed to. But then other times when it would have been good to have them, they don't. Seriously, who... Whoops. Who's gonna get this far? You can't get over here. It's too far. There's no way. Take a lot of my inspiration from this map. And then you've got the little hangovers. Seems like there's more detail in this map than in some of the others. It's not worthless detail either. Something I didn't pay attention to though is that the entrance and exits are usually over these little edge parts. And my map, the entrance and exits in the middle. So it's this long map with like nothing in it. It's completely unnecessary. And then here's the exit on the side. This is the one where you fall through the ground. I didn't use this exit, obviously. Well, yeah, because you don't want to fall through the ground. And area portal window, which is actually distance based. So depending how far away you are from it, it fades in and out. I actually never noticed them. You just think it's fog. It fills the room, then you can't see it. I don't know why this needs to be here though, I mean, it really doesn't cut off a whole lot. It's also not a coop map. Well, you said art therapy, and the only art therapy maps are coop maps, so... You know, we've gotta kinda... No, I did 622, I think. I don't know if these numbers are supposed to mean anything from them, but mine doesn't. I asked some guy, hey, what's the first number that randomly comes to your mind? And he didn't answer. So I just thought of one. I still don't know what these are for. Like, I can't... So many... There's such a mess in here. It's like, you just gotta hide all of this stuff so you can actually see what the fruit is going on. These stupid useless clips. There you go. Now I can see what the fruit's going on. Portal bumper. What you making? He's remaking my contest map. Well, at the moment, I'm just looking at one of Valve's maps to get some insight on stuff. Actually, I only came in here to look at this little wall right here. I never got it either. Got what? This one speedrunning guy I know likes this staircase. He's all, I imagine this staircase being the guy works down here and then the break room is up here. One guy has to go up and down these stairs several times during the day. I put this in my map as well for him. Of course, if you do it in every map, then it's not special anymore, so you can't do it in every map. But he likes those stairs, so I put those in. This thing is huge, it really is. Something I noticed about these scaffolds is that, and this is also floating. There's a lot of floating stuff in here. That's just it. You don't notice. You don't pay any attention to all this stuff that's floating because you're so busy with the test. And that's really how it should be. You shouldn't pay attention to the background stuff. If the background stuff draws attention to itself, it's not doing its job correctly. And that's what all the mods have been trying to do. So these are gone through each other. Oh no, wait. No, it isn't. Oh, that's interesting. It's kind of a way to make that a version of that, I suppose. They put little... I've never seen these. I always end up just copying the block structure of the reservoir thing, then filling it with crap. But this is what I mean. It's like there's a little bit going on up here, but you don't ever pay any attention to it because it doesn't draw undue attention to itself. And this is kind of a variation on the entrance. This sideways light. I think I copied this entrance for mine. Copied this entrance, but a different exit. And then I put the little remote view button there. I changed a few minor things so that it's not exactly the same. Like, this doesn't need to be textured. I honestly don't know why it is. It could be no draw. Or Wardon, as I like to call it. These clips. These pointless clips. I honestly don't know what's the point. Art therapy I always loved, but it still makes no sense. Well, the thing is, like, you're looking at it, and you think you're making sense of it, and then all of a sudden you come up to something, it's like, okay, why is that there? Did I group this myself? No. I think this is just automatically grouped. So, these wall rack things, they're not on every place. They're kind of randomized. And then same thing with these little foot things. They're kind of randomized. And then there's this little slot here. It's like art. The thing is, like, these are normally instances. So clearly Valve doesn't have a problem using the same thing over and over again. This doesn't need to be black, really. It looks good, but thinking too much about it will make your head hurt. That's kind of what you have to do. You kind of have to come in. You have to look at the map for a little bit. You have to see what they did. You have to kind of put in some stuff. And you have to come back later. And be all like, okay, I did this much, and now I need to do some more. There's probably some clips on that. Some nice cube maps. I don't know why they're so high up. That's kind of odd. Let's make it more seamless. I'm not sure. And you've got this, which is kind of funny. They use area portal windows for here. And this is actually a texture. This little door thing. Obviously it's not loaded. That happens. Those two comments were meant to go together. Oh. Yeah, art will do that too. Regular art. But yeah, this is a texture, which is kind of funny because everything inside here is unrendered, essentially, once you're at a certain distance. There's like a little hollow spot underneath. I never understood that, the texture being there. Well, what this texture is for, like I said, when you get at a certain distance from an area portal window, if I can find it. There you go, area portal window. So start fade distance, same fade distance. And then translucency limit is when it's like fully closed. No, when it's fully open. So start fade distance 256. Like, I am this far away, and it starts to fade in the brush right here. So this, the texture and everything, it starts to fade that in. And once I get to 460, it's faded in completely, and it's kind of like this, that it stops rendering what's inside. So that's how area portal windows work. But obviously if it's just a black brush, then it might be a little odd. So you've got this little texture to give it, make it look like these arms are still here, even though they actually aren't. and everything else in this room, all the details, all the polygons, they're not rendered, which helps the map run a lot better. All the little things. The exit also has a photo window. And the exit I copied. The area portal window was all glitchy. I wasn't sure exactly what was going on with it, but I just deleted it and made it again. And now it works fine. So that's interesting. That's why under here there's an area portal in the floor, because it has to like seal off in order to stop rendering everything. I think area portal windows can actually leak as well. And that's the thing about in here. It's like there's an elevator shaft thingy. So it's like this used to be a normal elevator, but it was manipulated. So I kind of wanted to make it look like, I actually wanted to use this kind of space and then just have a little hole in the middle for the elevator, but that obviously didn't happen. There's some stuff I could still do to change it, make it look different, but probably not going to do that today, obviously. And this is something that doesn't need to be textured up here, over here, because you don't really see it. But that's Valve, they like texturing stuff that won't be seen. Or at least in these maps they did. You can't see over here. Why does it need to be textured at all? Or on this side. Well, I guess you can see this from over here. But, you know what I mean. Random panel missing. And here we are with the small tiles to kind of draw attention to the area. The overall texturing should be not too randomized like BMod, but not too plain either, so that it throws off the symmetry and stuff. But then every once in a while you've got areas like this that are important, and you need the smaller tiles to kind of draw attention to them. So they've got, textures have multiple uses. It's not just, oh yeah, let's make the map look like something. Oh wow, that goes all the way down, doesn't it? Actually, yeah, they didn't put the tide line anywhere in here. I mean, I guess they don't really need it. It's supposed to be like a fresh chamber. It's not supposed to have been here for very long. Like that, so no more weirdness. No reflect. Yeah, I guess I won't be using that actually. I think I wanted to make the exit round, because as you can see, the entrance is a square, but then the exit is round, and it's always like that. And because round objects are contrasted to sharp objects like squares, that's why the door is round, to kind of draw attention to it. Doors, buttons, they're all round, and they kind of give off a level of importance in contrast to the squares of all the rest of the chamber. Oh, so that's a little different. Huh. It's funny. I didn't realize. Well, maybe I'll change that then. Yeah, these aren't really under the goo at all. So that's interesting. It's a small world. See, this one's not floating. It's got little anchors on it. Although these are. All sorts of funny little things. Instead of calling this stream working on the map, I should have just called it analyzing. Because so far, that's all I've done. I've done a little work, but most of what I've been doing is analyzing. I come in for one thing, and then I take all day on everything. There are kind of denser areas. That's interesting. That's right, flush with it. That would seem right. That was like 4 minutes ago. Anyway. Back to this. Valve and their cheating. Yeah. It's over. Whoops. Not entirely sure how I want to do this. Maybe I should do that over here instead. Thinking I should. No, because it's got kind of walls behind. Should have left that map open. Why do I always close stuff? There's this stupid little like stick on the top of this that makes the box, the bounding box, different. How did they do this? Oops. Yeah, I textured that. Come on. I should have texturing the bottom of these. I could just hide this brush, I guess. Make my life a little easier. I don't know why this isn't textured. Oh wait, yeah I do. You know what? Let's make this 3 instead. Oops. You could extend these walls under the pot. Oh yeah. I was going to do that. I forgot. that's fine. It's not it's not even like I was thinking it was going to be. Well, that doesn't look good anymore. Maybe I'll just leave that one. Don't have to extend all of them, I suppose. And we'll delete this. I would leave space open above the water. What do you mean? That actually kind of looks better, to be honest. Alright, let's get war done. Actually, no. I wanted to use tools black. Not up here. There you go. But if people do see it from in here, it's not obvious. No. Oh no. Oh, sorry, I couldn't get to my mute button fast enough. This stupid mute button is a flat thing. It's so irritating. A stupid slider. Why is this thing going so slow? I did want Ward on. The reason why is for this. Oh, that's fine. Real fine. Hope the origins of these aren't in the wall. That one's not. It'd be right on the surface. That's okay. Alright, let's do... Grab this. This is something that you wouldn't notice, but I can't leave it. There you go. Oh god. I would leave space above the open water. is going on here? Actually, like, oh. How did this happen? This is what I'm talking about. These things just texture themselves, and I have no idea how they did it. See, and here's an example of something that won't be seen. So you texture it with Wardon. These are different heights. Can't see. Wardon, please. You gotta be kidding me, man. Not many programs do the camera movement with the arrows like this one does. It starts slow and then it speeds up, so you can creep it along the slightest bits, but it'll still move fast when you need it to. It's like it does everything. You can creep inside the wall really easily, or you can just blow around. No Limits 2 doesn't do that. SketchUp doesn't do that. Most programs don't do that. It's kind of irritating, to be honest. What's going on here? Oh. A little illusion. How did that happen? What the heck? Why are these brushes resizing themselves and stuff? And then this is all rotated. What in the world happened in here? I would like to know. Anyone knows, please tell me, because I have no idea, and I would sure like to. And all this is gonna be funk detailed, so you're not gonna... It's not gonna cut Viz leaves. I actually kind of like the way that looks. I don't think we have any singles over here. Where do we need it? There you go. Alright, let's see. on the back here. One 92. I usually skip this song. Where is it? Oh, there it is. See, there's a few songs left. Quite a few songs, actually. I don't think what I want to do with this. These set faces don't really matter if they're inside, because evidently whatever faces are inside get deleted. But again, I just like to put them as they should be. But no, why do you always select the wrong thing? I swear. There you go. Bit of off framing. Give it some character. Not make it too typical. I don't know, I think it looks alright. I thought that wasn't a line for a minute. I don't know. It just seems like something is lacking. I'm not sure what though. Maybe I should switch them. I have those. 1, 2, 3. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Here's the top view. Left. There you go. And now the push out is over the wall. Uh-oh. I forgot these don't really get flipped very well. Oops. Wait a minute, that's fine. Why? Oh, that's because there's 2 things selected. There you go, I think that looks a bit better. Because then it's like aligned with the wall. Kind of draws attention to it, but at the same time, it's not like excessive. And that's the whole goal of this. Draw attention, but not to be excessive. What I like about how this test is turning out is it's kind of like you've got kind of a section here and kind of like a section here, and it's not like one test. It seems like several tests that are kind of put together, just kind of jammed them all together, sort of tests. And I'm trying to throw off the whole four square feel to it, because I don't really like those type of tests. I don't know, they're too common, and they're not, like, test wise, they're just not really that great. Okay, this thing finally froze, so that's nice. After a while, the animations will freeze in Hammer. I'm not sure what causes it. But it's nice when that happens, because then they're not playing over and over again. I need to put some of those floating things. That's not what I clicked. I don't get the chance to use these very often. These really huge ones. Huge. Give it sort of a roof, but not entirely a roof. It's kind of like just a place that stuff's hung and stuff. Not entirely sure what to do with it, to be honest. Just kind of make it up as you go. It's not really a precise science. Aperture imprecise science. It's kind of hard to see what's going on in the top view. That's in the middle. I mean, I guess we could have an offset opening. Well, you don't have to. Back up so far. Let's move this over, actually. There you go. I kind of like the look of low profile tests. Alright, what happened with this one? What's going on over here? Oh, what? Those illusions, I tell you. Maybe instead of that little thing. Oh no. These things line up. Oh, that's why. This is the wrong side. So it's only like 32. It's a very, very small jump. If we got rid of that, it would be 96, which is still quite possible to do. Oh no, wait, that's the big ones that get kind of half chopped off in the water. Okay. Sherlock is on. That in. You can't see the corner. Kind of debating on whether they even leave that. Go. That. Alright, let's get one of these big ones. Wait, what? I didn't move this one. Well, okay then. Let me see. I just hope it doesn't cause any weird lighting. That's my only concern. I had a feeling of that. There you go. Offsets. Make a little hole. You don't have to, but it's a nice little thing to have. And now you can see this. That's good. Sometimes the textures don't rotate properly. 424 and it's 446. Is anybody still here? Did everybody leave me? I'm kind of debating on whether to leave this, the tile, like it is, or if I should make it the frame. I suppose it doesn't really matter, but I don't know. Already a funk detail. More done, more done. I fell asleep. You can't do that. If I can't fall asleep, then you can't fall asleep. Move that up. Hi! Seriously, how is this stuff happening? Honestly, don't know where these textures are coming from. Yeah, that way. No. I don't know what happened. Whatever. The small tiles. I usually try to maintain the small tiles are important kind of thing idea. kind of thing I do. Actually, I wonder if you even need that. If you could just put the faith plate in the floor, like the button. It's kind of formed to it. I don't know. I don't know how that would look is the thing. This is just a thought experiment. See how it looks. And I'm likely not going to keep it in this map because I've already set it up to be the other way. But if I like it, I might do it in a different map. Essentially just leave the faith plate like that. It doesn't look that bad, actually. It's like this part of the faith plate was built a thing around. Dude. Let go of Z. May I suggest putting a 64 by 128 texture block textured with a back panel texture under the buttons. Button on grading looks odd. Well, it's technically not a button on grading. It's kind of in it. It's not just like resting on top. I showed that earlier, actually. How the buttons like kind of recess down into the grate. And then it's got like a little frame underneath it. I actually kind of like the faceplate like that. It's a pity I already did it the other way. The thing about doing it like this is that it kind of relies on the strength of these, and after a while the faceplate would kind of bend them. The force it exerts, so. See if it gives me enough undos. Alright, what are we doing? Let's unhide everything. Do apply texture. Nice lag. That's why I couldn't see it. Alright. This plate looks good like that. That's what I was saying. But I already set it up like this, so. Like, so what you're saying is the button looks good like this, and the faceplate looks good like this. What an interesting concept. And there's still a lot of songs left. How long have I been up? 2 hours and 13 minutes. Maybe you just put some extra chest beams or something. Well, it's... Whoops. I haven't done it yet. But you should on this other maps, if I can select this thing. Whoops. That's not very high up. Maybe put it at like a diagonal or something. How these maps are usually done is with little scaffolds and stuff on the, well, underneath. I don't know about that diagonal. You have to nip that in the bud. No diagonals. Almost like you don't even need them under there. We'll do it this angle instead. That's how they usually do them. They've got little scaffolds underneath. Whoops. Hate it when that happens. Over here. I don't know, that looks kind of odd now. It's like you've got this big old support thing in the middle. And then these that are like, what's the point? Maybe I will end up doing the faceplate like that after all. Come on. Can't ever select just what I want. Alright, down, down, down. Everything I push down I should hide. That I'd do in that elevator. That's everything, actually. So, I'm gonna have to move everything over here. Which is kind of sucky, but yeah, whatever. Faceplate needs to stay where it is. I don't really see why I need these signs, but I kind of want them. The thing is, if you put them flush with the grate, it's always Z fighting. and that doesn't look good. What is going on here? Okay. I don't need this stuff dropped. I just need the faceplate dropped. Needs to be realigned a different manner. Alright, so maybe... Probably gonna shift it over that way. To get all of these and move them over. This is the time when you want everything grouped, or in this case, detailed. You do that, it all gets grouped. I didn't group that stuff. Group. Got to include this in the detail. I keep thinking I see chat messages come in, but then I don't. Well, I'm back. FT. Alright, hide that, hide that. These I'm gonna have to change, so. Need to move it over. I moved it too far. Dang it! I needed 32 units, not 64. That's fantastic. Well, this is why we group stuff. Because then, when we need to move it again, then it goes a lot faster. And they don't reduce selection, see if I care. Fell asleep. Like, am I that boring? Did I make you fall asleep? Oh, that's why. This over. I had to put my phone on mute, what I ought to do. Oh crap, that's why I didn't group it. need to move it again. Something's happening with the floor there. Is it just me, or does the goo seem a bit something or other? It's something. Okay. So I don't think I want to move it that way. Why do you keep... Don't need to do shift drag. There. Now the faceplate is in the middle. What are you doing with the floor? I'm moving it around, can't you see? You kook. My gosh, pay attention. He's moving stuff around out of the faceplate being the floor. Well, go ahead and tell him then. I think that's all those. Group. Hide. Yeah, that's all of them. Yeah! Up, over. Solids. Can we select what we want to select, please? Something useful. Very good. Very nice. Ah! Goes around. Oh! Oh, that's why I need to move these walls. Oh boy. What about the vertical wall over... Man! I hate it when I do a shift drag and that doesn't actually copy it. It just moves it. Aligning with the walls of the plate. Maybe those... Maybe move those little squares a bit ahead or behind to prevent the collisions. Are you talking about these? I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet. What? Stop typing messages in Twitch. Go down to 2. So like that, maybe. I don't know, that seems kind of odd. No, not you guys. I wasn't saying you stop typing in Twitch. I'm talking to my computer. It... And like, I click, because I've got 2 screens. I got a screen here and then over here. And that's where Twitch is. Allow people to go behind those walls there. I don't know if I like this. This looks funny. Like, it looked better without any of this. Just like that. I mean, do you really need that signage? Everyone knows how to use a faceplate. The whole reason they shaped it like they did was to tell everyone that's the way it's gonna go. So, I don't know why that signage is needed. Oops, anyway. I just can delete it. The reason we don't want people going back here is because, well, we don't. No reason in particular. But people can't be allowed to go everywhere they want. Okay, you need to get bigger. Supported by something. Well, it's supported by the frames. It's not just a gray, it's supported by the frames. But, I don't know. Obviously, I'm gonna put this scaffolding to kind of act like support around. Like that. Not this. Oh, that's still there. That over here. Those aren't grouped. This way, I believe. Oh, no, wait. Didn't select this. I don't know, that looks alright. Should be perfect. Didn't realize it had a little box mechanism. Yeah. And that's the thing. The faceplate always has, like, a thing around it. It's got, like, brushes around it, but it's got this stuff. It's got, like, a model, like an outside. Like, some models only have... They only have one side. Like this. You look at it from the inside, it looks complete. But then you look at it from over here, and it's invisible. It's only got textures on one side. But this thing, it's all around. So it's like... Why? Why does it have to have a frame in it? I don't know. That's why I was thinking it looks alright like that. There. Rid of that one. You got kind of additional support for the faceplate. We're done. Oh, it's not over here. I don't know where my Wardon went. I'm all out of Wardon. Nope, that's not Wardon. There you go, Wardon. This one guy was having a fit because I kept saying Wardon and he didn't know what I was talking about, so he kept having a fit, acting like I'm some kind of fool. No draw on the outside becomes War Dawn. You keep the test subjects from escaping into the bowels of the facility, where the tubes become red and rocket turrets reside. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so this isn't going to be quiet. I put some sort of platform extension towards the panel it activates. What I was thinking of doing is putting an arrow. Because it's kind of hard to tell what this thing's doing. Where are the signages? Here we go. This is gonna be really fun. Ah. All those faces. Whatever. So there's your arrow. Doesn't point directly to it, but you know, whatever. That looks kind of weird, actually, hanging like that. You know, that really isn't. Yeah, Z fighting. Hate Z fighting. Some sort of. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind, I already read that. That button looks like it's floating. I don't know about that button, man. Heck. So when we get to the end of this playlist, I'm going to, whoops. I'm going to stop the stream. I have been up for 2 hours and 37 minutes. The only thing I can think to do is grab this and give it 3 sides instead of just 2. The thing is, I don't like putting a whole bunch of these things, but sometimes you have to, whatever. It looks a little less like it's floating. go. Oh yeah, you can totally see that. I don't know. The goose seems a bit tall. What do you mean the goose seems a bit tall? Yeah, that thing's farther close. Farther. Hey, vey. Farther. The thing is farther closer than the others. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Gonna kill it to be outside the map, just an easy bit. I don't know, that looks kind of odd too. Like that one maybe scaffold thingy. Makes sense to turn grading into funk detail. Grading, like, if nothing has to go through it, is alright being funk detail. Like, if you can shoot the portals through it. You can portal through the texture. But if you need gel or funnels or light bridges to go through grading, then it has to be a funk brush with no solidity, and then these special little clips, which I actually don't need back here. Just realizing. This clip's solid to players, this clip is solid to physics objects like cubes. So the grading will let gel, funnels, light bridges, all that sort of fun stuff, it'll let it go through. I don't know why I put this stuff over here. Like, honestly. Oh yeah, and then there's that. I forgot about that. Although I highly doubt anyone will notice. It's like, I know it's there, and obviously all you guys know it's there. But if anyone else comes into this map, chances are they're not gonna see that. I mean, Valve got away with a lot worse, so... Button just looks weird. You know, I think I will do the all the way down to the goo thing. Got the base. Half it and take away 2, and you've got my mark. P. Stop hitting P. But it seems to be doing anything, whatever. Get rid of that. Oh, this is the last song in the soundtrack. On the page. Kinda reminds me of Super Hexagon. They've got a nice button. Actually. I just textured something. Needed not to be textured. And really, I could go like that too. I kind of like it like that. Is this thing off? 128.2. Okay, why? Because this is also... Oh, it's not. What's going on with this thing? Little frames? What little frames? Alright, so what's going on here? That shouldn't have a gap. No. Go away. Alright, well, back to the beginning. So I'm going to the frames for the grading. How do the light strips look 3D but not be without linked portal doors? I don't know. If you mean, are these frames a model? Yes, they are. Here's the model. What the heck is happening here? Why is there a little yellow gap? I mean, up here is like whatever, that happens, but... What? This thing... What's going on with this thing? On a microscopic level, it's off. Why is this like this? Whoever made this button must have been drunk. Honestly, don't know how this happened. This doesn't make any sense to me. Oh my god. That one seems like it's already in the corner. It's clearly broken. All those diagonal brushes can be funk detail because this leaves. They are funk detail. Can you select what I want you to? Ah, crap. That must have been by the rays to prevent leaks and evil vis leaves. Possible. Ah. They all seem to be aligned now. At least in this corner. There's still something down there that's off though. It's that little dot. Oh, wait a minute. There. Oh, that was fun. Lining all those in the corner. Well, I'm gonna do the rest of those later. Put some texture on it to let myself know I need to. Oh, that's helpful. That is terrible. I think I'd rather... I don't know how I'm gonna remember that. I'll probably just see it, whatever. Drastic memory overflow. Fell out of small block heap. I can't say I've ever had that. Are your maps very big? Like, file size wise? Man, that's time consuming. And it looks like these aren't lined up either. Oh my god, button. What have you done to me? Come on. What? Well, that's fantastic. Somehow the entire thing got moved over. Oh my god. Alright, we need that. Nope, it's still in that microscopic level. That's so unfortunate. Dominator, I think. Just enter the room. I'll give you a hint. The other you don't. The one you don't want to do rhymes with Tree God. Haha. Very funny. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a lot of faces. That's funny. Tree God. Might just leave it like that. It's not that big, but it has complex geometry and a lot of small brush details. I'll try not to do so many small brush details, then maybe, I don't know. You obviously want to experiment, so obviously you want to start with what seems to be the most obvious fix, well, possible fix, and then, you know, go from there, trying different things. I kind of like how this tile is down. Makes it look like it's part of a different wall. Creates that illusion effect. Alright, so we had an emancipation grill over here. Build that. Shouldn't be too long. Alright, we don't want that. not map editor. Don't want the dynamic version because it's not dynamic. Star Gamers. Most people probably won't notice the little brushes. Decompile laser chaining from the Valve maps and just look at all the little things that nobody notices. Like we were doing a few hours ago. Such as weird portable surfaces that are about as wide as a button base is tall. So Ben Dominator comes in and says hi. Star Gamers 12 says heya. And then that's it. At least Violin Zero has sent more than one message, and each one was more than one word. That's too far. Matte Spation grills are fairly easy to make. Although most people get it wrong for some reason. Brush. The other one. And then there's me, who writes novels, but is terrible at actually writing novels. So you want this to be 2 units. It's at the bottom there. $384. 8. So now I've got the brush that even looks like it's coming out of the emitters. Two cuts, and from the top, 64 units. Or from the front, it doesn't really matter. Auxiliary center. And then fit all of these. Something I see people do all the time is just make this one piece. It's really irritating because it's like, no, it's 3 pieces. And when you make it one piece, these edges are all super stretched. Obviously it's supposed to be like this because then it's the same curvature as the emitter, and it's supposed to look like it's being emitted. That's the whole point. So there you go. Oh yeah, I could do that, can I? This unchecked treat is, well, it's not checked, but if you do this and you do fit, it's gonna make it one huge thing. You turn that off, it does each one individually. And then after half an hour, start looking at bridge gels. Stuff floating in the air. It's 2 gels, 1 bridge. I'm definitely gonna watch a replay. And then each one of these its own thing. Edit them together. Group edit. Oh, no. Don't want you breaking on me. And there you go, another. Ow! Oh, the stinking chair! Like, sliced my heel. So now each one of these is a different thing. You could make them all one, but yeah, you want to see the file name? Right here. 2 paints, 1 bridge. Ow. I just got a gash in my foot the other day when my mother dropped something. It broke. And I tell you, one thing after another. Probably can't even see that on the stream. D for decompiled. Ow. I think. That's the thing though, I'm pretty sure I've decompiled some of them. And I'm pretty sure they didn't have a D on them, but you know, whatever. And so here's this emancipation grill. It really doesn't look like I accomplished terribly much in here today. Oh man. But get this music. Just kind of listening to the music. I'm trying to find a place to wrap it up because I'm getting kind of tired, you know. Just thinking of this one thing. That's what I do, you know. I always think of these weird random things. I don't know, I guess that'll just do it. I'm at such a loss. This is what happens when you stream for too long. You get stuck, or I don't know, you get a point that you you just can't go on. Where to save it? Maybe save it at the emancipation grill. You can't see anything, whatever. Alright. So I'll be working on this and I'll kind of do a recap like I did today of what I've done. And yeah. For now, whoops, that's the wrong one. We will bid everyone adieu. And hope you all have a good day, or night, or whatever time it is that you're watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come back again. Have a good one.